How are we doing? It's Desiree. I know it's been a while, but we are back. And I'm just going to set up here. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope you had a wonderful 2 weeks. And we are all set. So I'm just coming in a little bit earlier, basically because I was excited to get with you all. Let's see here. Okay. I think we are all set. But yeah, like I said, I hope everyone is doing well. Um, I do apologize that I could not go live 2 weeks ago. But yeah, that was the day after the tooth extraction day, um, which was really good. Um, yeah, it was. You know, we'll fill you all in, but I figured, what Sylvia and I see your face. I'm glad that you got home safely. Good morning, and how are you? It was wonderful seeing you at Craft Roulette Live. It was a wonderful experience. Um, First time I had gone, and I got to see so many people um, that I chat with. I was in awe. I was very honored. I was in awe with just what people were doing and saying and greeting and all of that. Um, it was just a wonderful experience. Wonderful experience. I am doing well. I'm doing well. Finally, it took me a couple days to get back, and I think to get caught up on sleep. Um, I was very fortunate to have basically like two gatherings. I was honored to be invited to the beginning, a place that we call the barn, where a group got together and we craft. We had challenges. Um, Angie and her husband, I'm just truly grateful for how I was taken care of, very much so, um, beyond my expectations, beyond. And just met some wonderful people. But yeah, it's all I can say. I don't know how else to say that, but yes, it was just absolutely wonderful um, when it comes when it came to both experiences. Um, okay, so what I would do, kind of like what Biddy did yesterday, I was lurking in the background. So I'm gonna show you um, all of I'm going to first talk about the barn and show you what we did there. So we had like 3 challenges there. And I also was able to teach. Um, I taught Zentangle, an introduction to Zentangle, and everyone seemed to have a really good time with it. Um, so let me start there. So we had 3 challenges. Now, unfortunately, I didn't write down what the challenges were, but I did um, put down, challenge number 1, challenge number 2 on the back, and I dated them and all of that fun stuff. And for one, Biddy made me this card. Yes, beautiful rose in her style, and it's great because it comes this way. So I'll hide that up. Personal message. So, that's me. Yeah, absolutely. She knows I do like Halloween. Yeah, little witch. Not quite sure there though, but that. And then this would also open up as well. So you've kind of got that different fold going on there. So love the colors. Um, love all the details she gave. And then this was our first challenge that we did at the barn. So again, I just tore some papers. I only went, so packing for this was an experience. Um, so instead, so the way that I looked at packing for, you know, like a crafty retreat, and that's what both of these were, I did not bring ink colors. I brought colored pencils, I brought watercolor pencils, I brought my chalks, because that could add color to my images, whether it was a critter, whether it was a floral, whether it was a tangle, you know, so that's how I kind of looked at it. So I only brought two ink pads with me. One was my VersaFine Black, and the other was Vintage Photo. Yes, Vintage Photo. I did bring Vintage Photo. Um, so that's what I had. They were the only two ink pads I brought. Um, and it really worked out well. I did also bring a watercolor palette also. So I was able, if I wanted to watercolor, I would. Wonderfully enough, again, with everything that we received through the classes, the lessons, and also the swag bag, it's, you know, I realized I'm going to say about 70% of the items that I brought, I did not need. So I found that interesting. Very, very interesting. I'm going to make noise because I do have a bracelet on. I'll probably step away and get a wristlet just to cover this up. But this was the first card that I made. I did use my Bloom um, Tangle stamp, and when we were at the barn, there was this big box of scraps, and I found this scrap in there and just had fun with it. Tore some pages and papers, and then just layered it going across. And it's a standard A2 size card. Our second challenge, she did like a Angie, and this is Angie Downs. Everyone knows Angie Downs. Thank you, Angie. Um, she had these, it was like a draw. It was almost like a white Christmas type thing, you know, where you have a number and then you pick a gift, and then the second person, if they want to accept the gift that they chose or switch with the first person. So it was something like that. And then you had to create a card using those elements. So my elements for the card were these papers here. So I fussy cut this out from the pattern paper. That's a piece of the pattern paper. And then I added these pieces of ephemera that I had brought. Again, there's my vintage photo. And then I just tangled outside of it, just to add a little bit of interest on that. And all the cards that were being made was great. We were lining them up in all throughout the room that we sat in. And then our final, you filled out a piece of paper and you chose, you know, 4 items, you know, like we do with Craft Roulette. And then she was drawing them for each section. And then you rolled a die if it was to be included or not included. Good morning, Cordelia. How are you? Did you miss me? I missed you. Um, so one of the things was we had to have, I think it was a standard A2 card. We had to have purple, yellow, and green and florals. So here's my florals. Here's my purple, yellow, and green. I was having fun with my watercolors. Just used a piece from my paper pad, a 6x6 pad that I brought. And then here I've got a pocket because here's the A2 size. So more purple, but that's a pocket or a tuck. And then you fold that open. And then this is a belly band that does not stick. So let me grab my glue. That's funny. Okay, let's do that. It's because it's that horrible glue that I brought. And we'll just stick that back down. And see if we can get that in there. There we go. We'll hold that. Holly! Holly, Holly. And you did not bother me, make me uncomfortable or anything. I was just surprised. But it was cool that I got to stand up. People were looking at me when I said, yoo-hoo! When I waved in the middle of the floor. And that was our third challenge that we did. These were the gifts that I made for our table. So everyone got one of these cards, and then I had spare tiles that I tangled, so they're able to take this out, and if they want to frame it and put it somewhere, they can, or they can keep it on the card, and then they can replace something on the card if they wanted to reuse it. So these were the different gifts. Everyone got a different tile. And then it's the gifts, I'm just going to start laying them out. I think if I went through every single one, we would know. I'm fine now. I know 2 weeks for today. I know. I'm so sorry. I could not go live 2 weeks ago, the day after the tooth extraction. No, Holly, do not say you are sorry. I had a wonderful time. I was honored. And you even got to see me towards the end. No, do not. Do not apologize. No apologies. None. None. I'm just going to lay all the stuff out. What I found amazing was every time I would leave my seat at Craft Roulette, when we would come back, more would be piled there. More would. Johnny, how are you doing? You know, it's wonderful now to with some of you to say hugs, faces. It's wonderful. Johnny, how are you doing? I hope you are doing well. So I'm just gonna lay all the things out. There was just so much. One of the people at our table, this is Melanie Smith at Melanie Stamps. We each got one of those corner sets so that you can have when you put down your mats, which I thought was very generous and really cool. And I'm going to break a nail because I want to keep this on there so that I know. So it's just those corner pieces. And all of these ATCs, this one here, the work that people did, but it was just wonderful. That was from Artist. I got to meet Card Monkey Ellen, and she is 20 minutes away from me. Oh, this is exciting. This is absolutely exciting. People are tangling. Oh, this was Jen. It's too cute. Just absolutely cute. Another beautiful card. Some wonderful stickers. Vintage. Yay! Another tangled card. This is by our Kalinda. Jill, good morning. Cindy, you made it. Cindy and I were going to get in trouble. Yes. And while we were at the barn, I made sure to get everyone's contact, and then I just made a little tiny book and did a master board for it. Of course, I'm not going to open that. Private details. But just, I mean, beautiful ATCs. And It was just so amazing. Every time you walked away, you had this other pile. It was just wonderful. And unfortunately, with everything that was going on with me, I just could not. I was able to do the card swap. I was able to do the gifts for the people at my table. I got to see Joy Wilson, um, and Justine, and I'm gonna Dvorak. I'm gonna pronounce her last name wrong. Um, a little tiny packet of gemstone. You bring me joy. Hello. Um, a survivor pack that we got. All kinds of fun little things to add to your cards. There was just so much, so much wonderfulness. This, Jill, she's in the chat. She gave me this. I cannot wait to have fun with this. I kept everything together. Our table, we got a pop sock. That beautiful card. Look at that paper. Love the pattern paper, people. It can do the work for us. Absolutely. Angie. I like these so much. I grabbed two. Cute little book. Another card. Johnny, there's your card. Yes. Yes. More ATCs. I have to get a book so I can put all of these in and keep them. A beautiful bookmark. This was a tattoo that I never put on. Sorry, Colonna. Cute. I mean, just love all of the different. This one was amazing. From my craft room to yours. And when you open it, yes, there is something in here, and I don't want to tear it. Now, you need to keep in mind, 125 people in this room. And she die cut little flowers. That is patience. And I'm a die cutter. I just loved it. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. We got a robot sticker. This was my sign at our table. Don't fear fussy cutting. I was at the table. We called, our table was designated as honey badgers. We also got at our table Post-its. Who doesn't love Post-its? Love it. Because I use Post-its like crazy. Just fluffing around. This is also by Kalinda. It's a little easel that I can sit up. And yes, she did. This is numbered. I have 138 of 154. Wow. Wow. Love this. Parameter Panic support group. That was one of the tables as well. Another ATC. I mean, just look at all this. This is from Excel. And I got to sit next to her. I think we were going to get in trouble. Yeah. We were, yeah. It was, we couldn't stop laughing. And then I had Cindy behind me. It was just awesome. It was just absolutely awesome. And then I got two very vintage postcards. I'm going to go into my journal. Love that. And again, I'm just being careful with, I mean, I don't like to show people's information too much, but complimentary words, A to Z. Yes. And then we got coins, kindness coins. And then we're able to kiss our brains. And then an adorable little bee that was die cut. Oh, too cute. And I'm sure I am missing something. Oh, this here. And I have to read the instructions. So this is like an easel. Okay, read the instructions. Set up, flip top, down, down, and sit. I don't want to ruin it. But there's instructions here. And what's great is when she gave this out, she let me know what her birthday is. It's awesome. But these were great. All right. So those were all of the gifts that we got. And then, okay, now you're going to hear a crash. It's okay. Just getting that out of my way. So let me move these. And we'll put those back in the container. Because I have to put all of these in my album that I keep. Okay. And then, so for Craft Roulette Live, this was the card that I made, in case you didn't see it. So I added some tangles. I drew in the mountains. Bright colors, or happy colors, excited colors. And I did a square card. And then we did get our swag. Now everyone saw the swag bag. Okay, how are you? How you doing? Gwen! Good morning. Alrighty. So we had the swag bag, and you can, I don't want to go through the swag bag because you can actually see that. You can go back to, I believe they showed that. Did they show that? I believe they did. But one of the things that I was honored is I was able to be part of the swag bag. That was the most difficult thing to keep secret. Wow. Yeah. Very difficult. Very difficult. Because that was from like March, yes, of this year. So this was the stamp set that I had put into the swag bag for everyone. Now this here, and I think this is everything, so I'll just lay this out. This is everything that you got, and I'm sure there's more things because I started pulling things apart and saying, oh, no, wait a minute. Let's hold up. That you got in your swag bag. And that's why when I said when I packed, I really didn't need to bring any stamps because you could actually dig into this to do your card for the live show for Craft Roulette Live, or to do some of the other things if you were just creating off, or for the swap, when it came to this. All right, but I was very honored to be part of the swag, for that. And with that, I got to see so many people create. These are two cards that were created for me. This one was for the swap. She had received one of my cards, and I had used the one with the big gem in the center. I made it look like the turquoise. I showed that in a previous live. And she actually took my stamp and then just used the colors, and she used the graphite to add it. So love this. And then someone else had made a card while we were there, and she tangled in it. Awesome. And she used the graphite to tangle, which I thought was absolutely awesome. Oh, Linda, good morning. Good morning. So that was just wonderful. Now, for those of you that were not able to be there virtually or live, I've had many emails say, okay, how can I get this stamp? This stamp is available now for purchase. It is up on my website. So if you are interested in it, you can order this. Now, I will say, just so everyone knows, that my next stamp collection is coming out towards the end of September. So if you want to hold off to save on shipping, you can do that as well. But I just wanted to give that heads up due for the shipping cost and everything. But this is available for anybody that was not able to be there or anything like that. Oh, thank you, Cindy. Yes, this is called Mary's Tangled Butterfly Wing. That is Mary's stamp. And I'll show more samples when the other collection goes live, but these are just two samples that I've put together. This one I added tangles to it, and this one's just with the graphite to add simple dimension to them. So we've got that. So that was absolutely fun. Then we had classes. Oh, we had classes. Lots and lots of classes. Oh, this was the card that I received in the swap. Thought it was perfect. And then the card that I made her. This came from the lines class. It's a process that Ardith uses to create cards from what you see. So, you can create the card that you're inspired by, and it's a process that she taught us on how she looks at it, what you can change, what you altered, and just going through the lines. That's the acronym that she came from. But I love that word. Yes. Yes. And then the card that I finished went to the creator of this card. So kind of cool. Very cool. Let's see. We did a spinner. So when we open it, of course, we've got things stuck here. So of course, when we put this down, and then when the person opens it, burp. So we did that one. That was a cute class with Amanda. And then, oops, I'm losing pieces. And I thought it was amazing. Even with the classes, everything was already done. Like all the embossing, all of... I mean, it was amazing. Amazing. Shay, good morning. Just checking the comments real quick. Remember, if you have a question, put it in caps so I can see it. We also got, now, I do not use, they're not my coloring medium of choice, alcohol markers, but Olo gave us like 10 different alcohol markers, and it was a wonderful class. Going through how to use the alcohol markers, how to add texture. It wasn't a card that we built. She actually went through techniques. It was awesome. But I just don't use alcohol marker. But yeah, wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Artist did a class using stencils and how she works with them. So our stencil was this one here by Trinity, and Trinity was there with a shop. Yeah. I got to know Trinity. Yes. So this is a two-part layering stencil to give you that image. But what was really cool was Ardith was using it in a different way. So here's the original way. We got 3 ink pads. I know I said in the beginning I didn't bring any colors of inks except my VersaFine Blank and my Vintage Photo. Oh yes, the Vintage Photo came with me. But we actually received 3 Catherine Puller inks. So we were able to do this. That's one panel. And then she showed just using the one layered, create this quilt effect. And then I just tangled inside of every other spot because that's what I do. It's what I do. And then this was the other panel where you just separated it. And then, of course, I tangled on that one, too, because it's what I do. So that was a fun class to get, again, more use out of your stencils. You know, you just don't have to use them the way that they're used. You can extend the life and get different looks. And then Carrie was there. And we made this adorable little tiny, it's a circle card base. And then we turned it into a fishbowl and burp, bright light, bright light, bright light. We'll do it that way. So we did a light up. That's the easy single light from Amanda. And then we did a slider like that with the blueberry. So I thought I made this card Fro Yo birthday. Yeah, just saying. So I did those 2. And then, oh, the one class. This was an awesome class. It really was. This one just blew me away. This was with Carissa Wiley. So we did a great die set. And again, everything was dyed. So beautiful layers. And we inked them, again, using the inks that we already used. We got the embellishment. And then we all got the waterfall bead kit. Oh, yeah. This was a... Wow. This was... This was... I was really good at stringing the beads. Yes. Yep. My bead making days and my cross stitch with beads really came in handy on this one. Everything else, there was a little bit of stress. It makes a beautiful card. And it was a wonderful technique to learn that can be used in any way. And that's how I look at techniques when you learn them. It may not be your style of a card. You know, I'm more vintage and like that. But it doesn't mean I can't apply the technique of what we used and what we did. And those were all of the classes. So, and those were the cards that I did. But that's how I look at techniques. And that's what I always say. Look at the technique that we're showing. Don't look at your stash. The technique that I'm showing, we can combine those 2 things. Don't have to purchase what I have. You'll get the same results using your stash so that we can give it new life, give it extension, give it a different look, and all of that that new life, that new inspiration when it comes to all of that. Okay? And then, yeah, Trinity being there was dangerous. And then, once we're done this, I'm actually going to make the craft roulette card. And then I'll post it later. So, yeah. having Trinity there was a little dangerous. I brought one of the Craft Roulette companions because I'm actually going to use this for my projects. It's not going to be just for cards, but it's going to, so when I do my showcase and I make my ornaments, I need to remember how I make the ornament, which, you know, you think you could look at it and say, oh, yeah, no, not when you add inks and stuff like that. Yeah, it's just something that I do when it comes to that. So that's how I'm going to use this. So not only for cards, but for projects that I create. It could be an album if there's something specific that I put into the album. So it's good. This is going to be like um, my crafty guide with all the things and how I put things together. So that's why I got this. Well, good morning, Heidi. How are you? I also got, because who doesn't love the dust bunny? Yeah, had to get it cute. And the die, you can actually have it hold the cup. Yeah, I had to get that. Yes, had to get that. And then I saw this set with the candies. So I see Halloween when I see this. And, you know, witchy like. So I had to get the stamp to die, and of course, the masks and the stencils and all that. So I got that set. And then I am a sucker for Christmas snow globes. So I bought the circle-shaped card, which is like the little fish bowl that I showed you. So that's the base for this. And then I got this to go on top of it. This is the snow globe. And I'm also seeing this as an ornament. Yes. Yes. So I got those. And then he was just too cute. Yeah. I am seeing Brad's so that he can move. I gotta figure out how I can do that. But I'm gonna figure it out because I'm just seeing this thing being able to move. But absolutely love them. Too cute. And then there was just some other gifts. So this was adorable. Bee's knees. Get it? Oops. Bee's knees. And then bonjour. Get it? Bonjour. So much. Soulmates. You gotta love the puns. And then a waffle layering stencil. So I thought that was cute too. So those are those were the purchases that I made. And I also got more easy lights from Amanda because I was running low. I got wobbles. I got the sliders and the spinners and all of that fun stuff. So that is the haul of everything from our wonderful time at the barn. I've never laughed so hard. Yeah, and it's because of Cindy. Yes. Biddy and I have told her she needs to write a book. Yes. But it was a wonderful time by all wonderful people. No matter where I was, it was just a really, really good time. And I'm grateful, I'm appreciative, I'm thankful that I got to meet everyone. I'm speechless, and that's rare. Just saying. I'm just going to throw it out there. That's rare for me to be speechless. I always have something to say. It may not be good all the time, but I always have something to say. And this was just an experience, a feeling that I don't know. Good morning, Marley. How are you? That I don't know if I would be able to experience anywhere else. So that was nice. It was a long week. I was very grateful that I took Monday and Tuesday off. I had to go into work for like 2 hours, first thing in the morning on Monday to take care of something. And I am so glad that I took those two, because I think I slept. I just slept. Just, that's the only way I can say it. You know, my husband said he missed me because he doesn't like to unload the dishwasher. You know, there's love there. Oh, okay, there goes Cindy. Okay. So what I want to do now, I'm going to do the craft roulette, and I believe the parameters, so correct me if I'm wrong, guys. 4x6. The colors were buffet, element holiday, random bark, right? And I... oh. Okay, good. I got the parameters down. So, of course, I chose Christmas. That's a given. That is a given. And yeah, I want that. So, my colors, I actually need my die cutting machine. So my colors are going to be watermelon, you know, a fruit buffet. My die cutting machine. So the table might shake just a little bit. And I'm going to use, I found this. It's going to emboss and die cut. At least I think. I don't know. We're going to try this. So there's the dies. But I need to die cut them so that I can run them through. Altenew does a great job, by the way. I just want to point that out. This is the Lush Botanicals Poinsettia. So you die cut your pieces, and then you can run them through here, and then awesome instructions to put together. And they also have the key system on this. So that's kind of cool as well. But I usually just, stuff them together. Okay. So we're going to do a poinsettia in watermelon colors. So green, reddish, pink, white. The bark is my wood background, and then my card base is 4x6. And then after this, I don't know what we're going to do, but we're going to do something. Because I have not crafted with you guys in football. Gloria, good morning. How are you? It was wonderful to meet you and hang out outside, except at night. Yeah. For me, going outside at night was an experience. Lots of spiders. I'm just saying. There was just lots of spiders. Yeah. And I don't do spiders. Nope, I do not do spiders. And I'm going to need, is that the color? Does that look, that does not look white, does it? No, it does not. I need white. Oh my. That's alright. I'll use that to stamp my sentiment. Or I'll use something to stamp my sentiment. Alright, let me run this through. Camera's gonna shake. Very delicate. All right. I'm not going to use the centers. I mean, you also have a die for the centers. I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use gems for that. And then I'm going to use that sentiment. At least I think. It could change. But yes, it was absolutely wonderful. Max hollered at me when I got home, my cat. Matter of fact, he's still hollering at me. Well, yeah. So I think that's his way of saying, you know, we need to get back into a sequence here so that we know. Oh, yeah. They were, Heidi, you should have seen it one night. It was the last night. It was Saturday night. Here's, now you all need to envision this. So Toby needs to go take a call. And I'm just going to reach and grab some colors, some inks. For the piece. Not quite sure which way I'm going to go, but we'll grab them all. So it was the last night. Now, the other two nights, yes, they were out there, but I don't know, Saturday night took another turn, or I just didn't notice. Not quite sure. So Biddy went off because she was, you know, on a call. And I figured, okay, I'm just going to go outside. And I go to the normal spot, and there was just more. I mean, they were hanging from the trees. They were in the ceiling. And I'm by myself, so nobody got to see that. And all I could say was, oh no. Oh no. So I figured, all right, I'm going to go out, you know, away from the building. And they had this huge, you know, overhang. So, you know, your car can pull up, you can unload for the hotel and go in, you know, and an overhang. Well, I'm looking up there. No, 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 There was just, I don't know if it was my mind, but I'm spinning. I'm literally just walking and just looking up, saying, nope, going an opposite way. Nope, going this way. Nope, going this way. I mean, I'm just bouncing to the point where I almost went out to the street by FedEx. I figured I would be safe there. But I was always near a tree where I saw one. Oh, they were always up in the ceiling. I'm like, nope. So I start heading towards Biddy and so cicada. Now I know, cicadas. We have them here in Pennsylvania, but they're not as loud. Wow. They were really, really loud in Kansas City. Which they didn't bother me until, and this is happening in the matter of 10 minutes. I mean, I'm just bouncing back and forth all over the place. All over the place. Finally, I head towards Biddy, and this cicada comes down and starts bouncing around. I'm like, nope, I'm out. I'm like, that's it. I'm going in. Biddy's laughing on the phone to wherever she's talking to. I'm like, nope, I'm out. Then something goes on her, and she's like, what is... I'm like, no, mm-mm. So, yeah, that was, 10 minutes. I looked like a pinball machine. And I'm like, what is going on? But it was just really bad Saturday night. So I'm putting green in the center because poinsettias are actually plants. All of the beautiful colors start green. Just a little tidbit in case you wanted to know that. And then I'm going to go in with a darker red or like a pinky-ish red. And then it'll just get lighter. So, my watermelon. So, yeah, that was the... It was bad. It was really, really bad. To the point where I almost went to the front desk and said, have you heard of pest control or an exterminator? It was just bad. I don't know. I don't know if that's normal out there. Oh, well, have a good one, Cindy. Enjoy. Say hello to Kyle for me. So, yeah, it was. And the center ones are going to have more green. Because, again, that's how the flower starts. It actually starts as green. And I'm hoping I don't tear these. I want to make sure I have a dark green in all of these centers. Oh, well, now we can't have that. My finger does not need to be sunscreen. There we go. And it'll fade out. All right. Didn't need the lighter shade. All right. Now, I want to add going to start off with the lighter shade. And I'm going to come off the page and I'm going to come across and just feather it out. And I think I'm just going to stick with this shade. And I am going over the green, and it's okay. But I do want to have the white tip on the petal. Okay. That's what the petal is going to look like. So, watermelon, right? Was it definitely? Oh, oh, wow. I'm going to have to keep that in mind. Either that or me and FedEx. The FedEx location across the street is going to bond. No. Oops. And then we're just going to add just a little touch on the little ones. So yeah, it took me a little bit to get back into the swing of things, but so glad that I took Tuesday off. Now I need a green. I need a green. So give me 1 second. Be right back. Hang on. I don't know if I want that one. That might be too dark. Hang on. We're going to use this one and I'm going to ink it up. But I do want to add some solid greens. Using these large petals. And then when I ink them, I'll be able to alter the color. So let's run those through. All right, now let's put that in. And these I think I'm just going to tear apart. So just going to add a lot of this color. And then if I put that on there, see, there we go. Change those colors. I didn't go outside. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was. It was. But the other nights, I just don't think it was that bad. It was just Saturday night. It was like they all said, "Yep, you're gonna go out with a bang." No, no. Woo. But I was proud to say I did not go screaming. Just, you know, if somebody was looking outside the lobby into the parking lot, yeah, they just saw this person bouncing back and forth. But yeah, it was bad. It was just bad. I told my husband that story, and he tears were coming from just from his eyes, because of course I'm looking at him and saying, "And you would have been no help." All right, that was Vintage Photo and Scorched Timber. So I'm going to get everything set on this because I cut this a little smaller so that I could have that border going around. And now I need to emboss these. This is where it gets interesting, because I need to know what the sandwich will be, and hopefully it's on here. Oh, well, that's a weird one. So if anyone has the Spellbinders, you can go on their site and get the compatibility guide. So I'm assuming that this is a 3D. Yeah, it says that. And I need to follow this. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Okay. And I need the adapter plate. Okay. So now let's see. I want it here, and I want to put that down. And I'm going to add some tape to these so that it stays in place, and I'm going to test it with my leaves first. I'm just going to put little pieces because I don't want this to shift, and it will shift, at least for me. It's going to shift for me. So I'm going to throw that out there. It's what they do. See, it's already shifting because that is super low tack tape. I should have used my mint tape. Let's give it a shot. Well, that's not the right shim. That that is so not the right shim. Oh, maybe it is. No, we need a little more pressure in there. Or I should say, I want a little more pressure. So I'm going to use the packaging. Which will curl, sorry for the shake, my packaging, but that's okay. And again, follow the shim, don't do what I do. I just like all the texture. Nice. It is amazing how embossing folders have grown. And developed, even stencils, right? So, where's my mint tape? There we go. Just so many awesome things. Yeah. So you just want to remember that if you've inked, like I have, you want to make sure that your ink is down, facing down into the gully. Because it's easy to forget, and I have. And I'm okay if they go a little crooked. Good morning, Jacques. How are you doing? Am I missing anybody? I hope I'm not missing anyone. Just... And Jill, yes, it is wonderful to, as I see your names coming across, it is wonderful to say, yep, that's the face. That's the face. No, they even went down into these small ones. Okay. So yeah, I tape, when it comes to these and doing this, I tape everything down. I over tape. I always have people, you know, leaving comments. You really over tape that? Yeah, I did. I did. Enjoy how you want to enjoy it. And I'm going to put the cardboard on top so that it doesn't curl too bad. Sorry for the shake. And if I can save the tape, I will save the tape. You just want to be careful pulling it off on the where it all connects in, because that is really fragile. I probably shouldn't have put the tape on these, but we'll be okay. We're just gonna take it slow. Just like that. So is anybody here that was at Craft Roulette virtually? And I hope you had a good time if you did. Holly, I know you were, if you're still here. But I'm sure everyone virtually had an awesome time as well. I can't imagine anyone saying they didn't. It was wonderful to hug Mary. Although my partner in crime, I don't think, is in here. Is Excel Storm in here yet? Wonderful, Holly. I am so glad you had a good time. Wonderful, wonderful. Now, one of the other things that I'm going to do with these, I mean, I've got great texture here, and if this, like, edge, see how it went off? If that bothers you, and I bring that up because it bothers me, I just cut it away. I just cut along. Okay? Never know. But I will say, these fit really well. Very well. I forget whose, I was using another one, and boy, well, it was my fault. Operator, because they really shifted. So I did a lot of trimming. Because I don't throw pieces away. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the straight tweezers. And I'm going to go down the center. And I'm going to fold it. And I'm going to take it along the side. And I'm going to curl it back. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to roll it. All right, so it just adds that little bit more dimension. And these are techniques that I learned working with spellbinders and Susan's botanical dies. These are all techniques that she shows in her videos, putting together her florals. And they look real. Wow, they look real. So I'm just going to add that little bit of extra, because now it'll sit up off the card. I do like dimension, and I know with, you know, postage now, this is a card that I would hand deliver, or this is a card that will sit on, you know, in an area for the holidays, I actually use some cards and decorate my house that way. Because we put so much time into these pieces, and some of them, you know, sometimes when you make a card, you just look at it and say, wow, wow. Okay, I need to make another one because I need to keep that one. At least that's what I do. Right? I do too, Holly, and I think it will. I think that this craft roulette retreat, I do too. I hope it keeps going. Um, it's just, Mary has put together something that's unique, inspiring, encouraging, and she has truly brought together a community. Very much so. Very much so. Now, these little ones, okay, we're just going to crease them right up. And you really don't need the tweezers because the embossing folder really put that crease there. And then I'm just going to push down the points. And yeah, I'm going to use my tweezers only because I don't want to break them or tear them. And again, just a little push down. Oops. And we're going to do the same thing with the leaves. Now the leaves I'm going to tear apart. I think I'm going to crunch them. So you can do that too if it's big enough. And when you have this much texture, you can just fold it in half and just crunch the paper. It's paper. Just crunch it together. That's all this is. It's just paper. Alright, so we got our pieces there. Let's get our sentiment stamped. Oh, would this piece be big enough? Yes. It is. But honestly, I want it a little bigger. Sorry. And I don't want that paper. I'm going to pull in a piece of my coffee dyed. Oh, Jill and John, have a good one. Thank you so much for stopping by. Wonderful meeting you and hugging you. Good, Holly. I'm glad a lot of people felt the same way. Not bad. All right. So let's... All right. We're almost done. You can always make your pages look worn by just curling edges in, ripping them. Again, it's just paper. That's all it is. It's just paper. And I want to get my sentiment down first because it's a pretty big sentiment. All right. Burp. And I'm okay that it's hanging off the edge. All right, so I want that to sit down there. And then that's going to sit there. I need to look at my picture. Oh, really? That one's number 2, huh? All right. So if I follow the keys, that one goes like that. And then if I follow the key again, I'm liking this key system. That's going to go like that. And then, sure. And then that's, really? No, it's not going to kind of quite down there. All right, so we're just going to go like that. And then this one, it's going to go like that. Perfect. Okay. And we can even move this up a little bit, and we can move that up a little bit. And I'm not going to put it in the center. Nope. Okay. Glue. All right. Now, all right, we're going to do that. Because I want to keep these in order. All right. So now when I glue flowers down like this, there is a certain glue that I use. Of course, watch, I won't be able to find it now. found it. And it is Beacon Kids Choice Glue. I know that it makes me giggle every time I hear it. But this glue, and this is just scratch paper, it's not cardstock. This glue is very thick. And what I like about it, if I can open it, is it will hold the shape of the flower. Best tool ever. This is by Golden. It opens up paint tubes that you can't open up. One will never stick on you again, even glue, because you can hear it crack it. It's just a very thick glue, but when you use it, the flower will stay and keep its shape. And again, I just go down, and I'm making sure there's a lot there so that it will just keep filling in. I don't want it to not build up. So each of these layers, it's just building upon itself. And when it dries, and then I take the back end of my tweezers and I push down in the center. And what that does is it lifts up all the glue that's in there, and it lifts the petals up. So you get that dimension that you see is what you will have when this dries. It doesn't flatten out at all. Yes, Gwen, I am. Did you think I forgot about the leaves? Please. Silly you. So then I come in with the leaves and load up the glue on there, and I tuck. And then that too will help lift the petals. And this is how I've always constructed these 3D flowers. And I just let it set. And yes, I have not put it on my card base yet. And that's good. And I keep that. That goes in my little pot with all my other die cuts. Alright. Now I'm going to get my double-sided tape that I just had here and that I can't find now. So I am all about, and we all create differently. I love dimension. Very much so. And again, you can do this with other glues too that you may have, but it's just got to be thick. And I am not, if you want to get this, I get it off of Amazon. What I like about this is the fact that it's so thick and it keeps its shape. It is amazing. Here, I'll show you. I'll be right back. And I don't want to put my be right back sign here because it'll crush that. And I don't want that crushed. Hang on. So here's an example. This is her dogwood die set. All that dimension there. And these are, I mean, I'm pushing on these things and they're there. Even the center points. You can see those center points are just standing there. That's what this glue does. It's like when it dries, it's like a piece of plastic. It just, and I have not found any other glue to do that. But yeah, I mean, they are solid. They just, you can't, I mean, you would need to take a brick and literally just put this down. I mean, I am taking my hand and slapping that, and it's still, it just holds it. So that's why I love this glue. And then again, after you do your leaves, it just lifts it up more when it comes to that. All right, so you have the two different techniques, and you can just easily add, you know, your texture into your die cuts. Okay, just crumble them up, you know, just push them together. That adds texture. That's what I did for the green ones. And then for the other ones, I curled it. And it doesn't take long for it to set. I mean, these are pretty much all set in there now. And then the tape underneath is just going to give me instant grab, and I'll still be able to put that there. And then you can just keep lifting them. You can add more glue underneath if you want. I just play with it. And then for the center, I'm just going to add some gems. And I think I'm just going to add one big one. And we'll add gonna add some glitter to the top. Because why not? You can also add stickles to the edge if you wanted to. There's my card. Did I meet all the parameters? Emma, how are you doing? Good morning. So yeah, watermelon. Oh. Yes. Kalinda, you're correct. Gloria, if you had a question, it's Kids Choice Glue. And again, it's the only, I'm one of those oddities when it comes to glue. I use certain glues for certain things. This is, you know, definitely one of them. This I use for 3D flowers when I build them, like this, or the other card like I showed, because again, it keeps its dimension and it makes them, it's almost like it gets through the paper and just goes, "Grr, you're not going to go anywhere now." Fabri-Tac for fabric. My main glue is PVA. For everything else, if I know I'm going to use a ton of it, Aleene's tacky glue is great as well, because let's face it, we go through a lot of glue when it comes to that. All right, so I will submit that because my phone is somewhere that I don't know. Yes, I have not wanted to look at my phone for a long time now. The 3 days I was in work, I'm like, oh my goodness. So I will submit that and all of that. Okay, so what, it's only 10:30. What else would you like to do? Would you like me to do scrappy cards? You want me to do a journal? Do you want me to do, because I'm talking slowly so I can clean up my space so we can go on to the next project? Do you want me to do a scrapbook album? What would you like? That it is viewer's choice. Yep, replay is always there, Dama. So you can see that. I'm going to submit this for the craft roulette. And in the beginning, Dama, you'll see I was fortunate to go to 2 crafty retreats in 1 week. And it was a wonderful time. So you'll see all the fun goodies that we got. Scrappy cards sounds fun. Oh, did it? Belinda, have a good one. Thank you for stopping by. And we can do scrappy cards. I just need to find my desk. So hang on. Let me find my desk. Oops, sorry. Loud noise. But this was fun to use. It was a neat set. Put that up there. I am not going to do any more die cutting. No. So that can go away. Grab my scraps. I grabbed my digital scraps. Let's use those. It was funny. I was lurking in the background of Biddy's live yesterday. And for those of you that were there, yes, I do stock stamp timber. One thing and one thing only. I collect the Tim Holtz stamp timber set every year. I must have that set. To the point that I have missed meetings at work if I have to be in work. Yeah, it's just something that I have to that I have to have. Yeah. You know, it's just me. Just me. All right, I'm going to set this aside so that it can dry, and then I'll be able to post it. And then maybe by the time this should be dry, just cleaning a spot of blue up just a little bit. There we go. And you'll see just how strong these leaves will be when it comes to that. Okay. I don't understand. Is it released in a live every day or what? So, do you know about Stamp Timber, Holly, that Simon Says runs? That's pick something from your new supplies and make a card. You mean from the gift thing? The swag bag? Oh, that's a lot of die cutting, Holly. If you're talking about the stuff that I got. From Trinity, because that's all die cutting. But I love that stamp. Love, love, love. So the Tim Holtz, if that's what you're talking about, so Simon Says does a stamp timber. It starts on the 1st, and every day, so the 1st, they start with their stamps from Simon Says on the 1st of September. And then shortly after that, there will be a different, like Altenew. They'll pair with Altenew or Brutus Monroe or Tim Holtz, Spellbinders, Paper Rose, all these different companies. And oh, my butterfly, please. All right, okay, all right, okay, all right. We'll put this away. You guys. Now I gotta find my butterfly. I gotta find the one that I actually had, open. Oh, found it. So every day, for the most part, for most of the days, there's a different collaboration. All right, so you want me to use this? Okay. And again, this is available now. If you wanted to, but again, the next stamp collection is going to come out at the end of September. So if you want to save on shipping, you can wait to do this. Holly, you're not being pushy. in any way. I'm here for you guys. So yeah. So if you're interested in it, but again, I do apologize. I only ship in the United States. Um, let's get some card bases and let's see what we can do with this one. So yeah, like I was saying, when it came to packing, yeah, I did not, and I didn't bring that many stamp sets with me. I brought like maybe 10. Um, but I didn't need them because everything you need was in that swag bag. Was this a 4x6? No, that's a mini slim one. I think for next year, that's a 4x6. If I'm able to go next year, you know, time permitting and time frame and all of that, I would just bring my pre-made card bases like I have here. Same coloring mediums. I brought my colored pencils, watercolor pencils, a watercolor palette, my chalks, because again, those are the mediums that I use. Um, and 2 sheets of rainbow cardstock, and maybe 2 6x6 paper pads. I think honestly that's all I would bring. And the majority, like all the coloring medium, yeah, they came with me. All my Zentangle stuff came with me on the plane. That wasn't going to go anywhere except with me. And hopefully we won't have an avalanche that'll fall. And I never felt as I was creating or anything like that, oh, I wish I had that with me. Oh, I wish I had that with me. Never felt that way. Um, okay. Okay. All right. Um, yes, Ave, I will. I promise. I promise I will have a butterfly for you. Yes. Oh. All right. Let's make. I'm gonna make a 6x6. Now they are actually the stamps of the new collection. I'm currently working on the samples now. I started yesterday because I was able to get back into the swing of things. I believe it's going to be the last Sunday, and I think that's the 27th. Yes, it's the 27th. Right, we're just going to push that off just a little bit. And there's a reason why that usually, Ave, you're right. I usually don't launch. I'm looking for my ink pad now. I usually don't launch until October. Um, but there's a couple commitments that I have, and I wouldn't be able to do what I normally do, the launch on the live, and then, you know, make some cards. I wouldn't be able to hold that live or the live after that week. So yeah, there's some things that are coming up that I wouldn't have if I don't do it in September. I wouldn't be able to do it until November, and that's too late for me. I can't do a release that late. Again, this is textured paper, so that's why I'm going back and forth. And I've learned, you know, to not do, you know, stamping CPR. But I think I need to go back into it. Just saying. All right, now I think those I'm gonna hold up on my sentiments. But yeah, that was hard to keep a secret. All right, we're gonna lift that up, and then I'm gonna use our scraps. When it comes to this, I'm still gonna use the digitals. And we'll see what we get. Alrighty, now let's have some. Thank you, Sylvia, because I started explaining what it was and then I stopped. So yeah, the issue is that once they sell out for Stamptember, the stamp sets now, and they have all kinds of different sets. You can get the stamp only, you can get the stamp and die together. I mean, they have it all different ways, but once it's sold out, they don't bring them back. Um, and there's always certain ones that just sell out immediately. People have tried to pinpoint when they um, when they go live, when they post them, because they're not posted until that day. And it can be any time during the day. It could be at 12:01 after midnight. It could be noon. It could be 5 p.m. Eastern. It could, the times vary, and they'll choose it, and it just pops up. I don't think people sleep when it comes to this. For some people, for some of the companies, like the Gina K, like the Tim Holtz. Now, lately they've been doing Tim Holtz as a live. You know, and they'll say, oh, we're going live at this time, and you can just see his live feed just explodes with, it's just, I mean, he averages, thousands of views anyway, but I mean, it just goes, because he'll come on, Heidi will come on, and then, I mean, and they have people manning their website, because everyone's just going in and seeing if it's available, and then finally they'll say, okay, it's available now, and you can just feel the internet drain because people are just going in. Yeah, it's I'm glad they do it virtually though, um, and not, you know, in person, because wow, just wow. I could not imagine if this was something done in person. It just would not be pleasant at all. At all. All right, so we're doing a 6x6. Now, I know someone's going to get upset. Yes, I'm cutting a full sheet of this mirror cardstock. And I do that because, so this is tonic mirror cardstock. It's called Purple Rain. And it's got an iridescence. I love their iridescence. I don't know if it's still available. I bought this a long time ago. But it's so that I don't want the card to curve in. And it can. So I do keep my panel that large. And I know someone's going to leave in the comment, that's wasteful. I get it. But again, do however you would like to create and enjoy the process. Because I add multiple layers of mats. All right, so I'm going to get my mats set up first. And then get those set aside. Sorry, that's my computer waking up for some reason. Alright, there's my card base. Alrighty. And we're just going to add elements around this of the papers. All right. Let's see what we got. And all I'm going to do is tear pieces or I may fussy cut this out. Oh. All right, y'all want to go through this pain with me? Yes, Sylvia, it used to be. Then they moved it to noon. And again, they just pick where where they go with it. All right. I know many people have asked if I will get dies. And the answer to that is I don't know. Right now, no. It's not cost effective. And 9 out of 10, you know, I figure out a way. So my trick, and you'll see it when it comes to fussy cutting, is the paper moves. Everybody knows that. Paper moves, scissors do not. Keep your scissors somewhat stationary. Turn your paper, and I keep my scissors off to a side. It's almost a 45-degree angle. And if this paper gets in my way, I cut it away. And now my scissors can move freer. And so can my paper as I keep turning it. So like, see how that's going to come into my finger? I'm going to cut it away. So that I can just keep going around these curves as best as I can. because then I won't have the resistance of that. Now, for this side. I'm going to pick and choose where I'm going to cut this, because I'm going to be able to change the color within this piece. So while I want some of it to stick out, I don't need all of it. I'm going to keep that piece right there. So I'm just going to grab a small piece of tape and just put that there. And it'll hold it. So that's my fussy cutting tricks. Well, hello, Tara. How are you doing? Welcome. Well, hello. Is that linen, linen, another name? Thank you for stopping by. Okay. I am going to use my chalks. No, I'm not going to use my chalks. I'm going to use watercolors, pencils. But the ones I want to use, actually, and when I use like a watercolor pencil, control is, yeah. I use a blender, a clear blender. I just have a better control when it comes to it. So that's one thing. I mean, with these stamps, you can use anything, any type of coloring medium that you want. There's, sky's the limit. So there is no limit. Alcohol markers. You can use colored pencils. Again, colored pencils do take longer when it comes to their blends and all of that. These here are by Staedtler, and they're tinted graphite watercolor pencils. And they're very pigmented. So I kind of go towards a pencil or a medium. And then I'm going to come in with my graphite. So I'm going to do the graphite with the tangle of the petals. It's called Flux. It is one of my favorites. And you can see, there is nothing specific with that. Just slap it down. Just get that graphite down in there. And again, when I say graphite, #2 wooden pencil. You can use this. But not a mechanical one. It'll just scratch into the paper. So any pencil you got. You can use a Q-tip to blend it. These are called tortillones because they're hollow. And then I just start at the base and I swirl up. We don't need that perfect blend. So that has that. I'm going to start with the green. And again, even with these, I'm just putting down the color. I don't need to worry if it's even. I don't worry if it's a smooth coverage. Because again, the more pigment you put down, the more color you're going to have. So I just want to make sure that it's down at the base, and then I just keep going back and forth. And again, you don't have to worry about that perfect, like we do with colored pencils or, alcohol markers or anything else. Don't stress about it. You shouldn't stress about those either, honestly. Never, never, never. Is that my blue? That's my blue. And on the next level, I'm going to do the same thing. But yeah, whenever I use watercolor pencils, clear blender. This happens to be the Tombow N00. But I know Dove made one that you could refill, change out the nib, Stampin' Up makes them, and I think they got a great deal on them. I still have a bunch, but you can get 3. You get 3 in your pack when you make the purchase. And I don't know if there's still 10. They may have gone up, of course, with everything else that goes up, but for 3, it's still a good deal. And again, when I have too much pigment on, I'm scratching off on my scratch paper. And you can do this with Derwent Inktense pencils, any watercolor, oh, I forgot one. Any watercolor pencil that you have. I just go for more muted tones. I don't know, I love a rainbow, but I do enjoy the more muted tones, even when I just use watercolors. So I'm always adding, and I guess you can call them desaturated colors, because with my watercolors, if it's a bright, I just add black to it, and it pulls it down. And that's a butterfly. Very simple. Now you can even add graphite into here if you want those hues deeper. So if I wanted to just take the graphite down into this section, so you can add it on top of colors and it'll just deepen that shadow without adding more pigment. So your graphite can just go right into that. All right. Yes, I do. I really do. Okay, is it a blender like the Gamsol? It operates like that, but this is safer. This is like a glycerin that's in here. And again, even with colored pencils, I just stay away from the Gamsol. I will use something that's called Zest It, because it's got an orange scent to it, and it's not, you know, you don't get that hazard, you know, don't keep open, be in a well ventilated area. I don't know, that just kind of freaks me out. There's also, that's why I also use the colorless blender pencil with colored pencils. But there is also a pen that looks like this. I think it's by Finesse, Finess, that it's a pencil or a pen that you can blend colored pencils. It's awesome, and it works. So those are the things that I usually use. I stay away from Gamsol. All right, I'm going to set this aside. And now I need another piece of 6x6. Or 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. Alright, let me move those all out of the way. Alright, so now we're just going to start collaging. And, oh, wow. Did I just do that? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Too funny. Oh, my goodness. So you can see this was kind of like the color, my inspiration for colors. Just a little bit. And we're going to start placing these down. Now I am going to go around this. Because I can. And I'm going around gingerly. And then for these areas here, an old makeup brush. And it just tones down that white. So that it's not so, you know, stark. And and if you notice, I am not losing the color that I put down. That's the beauty of vintage photo. It's not for everyone. I get it. But it looks great on pink. It looks great on yellow. It looks great on teal, light blue. It's just that ink that just pulls everything together. Yes, it does. And here we go. So that, of course, is going to be the... Oh, what's this? That, oof. Nope. So again, these are my scrap digitals that I have. Again, every once in a while, just pull in your main piece. And see what you've got growing. Not literally. just say. See what movement you got. And yes, I keep those pieces. Pretty soon, also, I hope you all enjoyed, first, let me say this, the tangle mapping that we did in our membership. I hope you had fun with that. And again, we can tangle on anything. We can just have fun with it. That's too close. I want to keep that one over there. Put that over there. Put that over there. So yeah, so I hope everyone enjoyed that. Figured I'd keep you all busy while I was away. And then soon, we are, oh, that's too much. Yeah, I gotta get that green in there. We're going to continue with the lap book, because now we're just decorating with our papers and that. So that should be rolling, closing out soon. And then, I'm not worried about that center, because that's going to be covered up by that. I'm looking at the comments, making sure I don't miss anything. Did you, Tara? I am just so glad that everyone enjoyed this stamp. That was, I had fun designing it. And again, that was, oof, that was a tough secret. Alright, so let's put these up here. Let's put these over there. And let's put this one down here. And let's get this glued down. And I think I did that. And that. And that. So that when this sits here, we've got that. Yes. And I am not worried if I have anything peeking through. It's kind of why I chose a craft base to work on. And then I don't worry about glue to the edge. I like it when it crinks up. You can see I'm not pushing everything down completely. I think I want this one to go up here. Remember, it's just paper. It's okay if it tears. Sorry for that noise. I forgot to grab a scrunchy thing. And then these, we're just going to crank these around. And you guys know me. If I am adding or doing something like this where it's a vintage, you know metal's coming into it, right? Right? And we will be doing that. So we're going to set that there. And this one is going right here. This is going here. Where's the... And this is going to go right there. All right, let me get my piece of metal. Yeah, I'm thinking. No, we're just going to do that. I love making an interactive card. So this could have been on a tag. I could have put an eyelet there and had this swinging, which would be really cool. And I'm just going to put a hole here. And we're going to put our brad in there, if I can. Tiny little things. Okay, there we go. And because I put that there, I'm going to use double-sided tape. And it can get worn. There we go. Now, do you have to use, you know, all the vintage photo that I did? No, you can just put your pieces down flat. You don't have to put vintage photo on them. You can use bright colors. Again, I will always tell you to create your art in your style, because we developed that, right? Not everybody likes vintage. Not, and that's okay. For some, this looks dirty. You know, dirty like not clean. For some, this looks like a mess. And again, that's totally okay. And now I can't find my bits. I found it. So then this is just going to have that little element peeking out. And again, I get it. I hear, I'm going to see a comment. But again, I don't want it to sag. I just don't want that piece to sag. And I have experienced that where it does sag and I don't want it to. So that's why I cut the full sheet for my, whenever I use a thick, and Tonics is very thick, mirror cardstock. Now if it's thin, yeah, then I'll cut out the center and, you know, to save that paper and all of that. Absolutely. And again, this is a 6x6 card base. And we'll come in with the final touch. Christina, hello, welcome. There's always replay. Always replay. All right, let me grab. All right, so this is just the Kurtaki gold ink, or any gold ink is fine. Any gold ink is fine. And I put it in a fine line bottle. And very carefully, there is no pressure that I am putting on this bottle. This stuff is just going to come out. If you find that it's coming out too fast, then take it to a towel or a scratch pad. There you go. And there's my cap. And I can't see. Best way to clean up. Just push it off to the side. There you go. And again, you can, this can take on, again, just by changing your colors. So when it comes to that stamp, I had shown, here's one with just the graphite. And I'm going to keep piling them up against this one. So here's one where I just added more tangles. All right, I tangled, I aura'd in here, I added baby fescues in here, and again, these, you don't have to know the names. Spirals here, that's called print tops in another color. This is, and I can't read the name on the back. I think this is Vicki Jensen. Yes. She did that one, and it's beautiful. And she added some sparkle. And then this one here is Smurf Murphy. She did this. She got my swap card with the turquoise in the center. So she took that turquoise and added her glitter pen to it, but then did the graphite off of it. And again, you can see just the difference in the creations, in the style of which they're going. Now I'm trying to find one more thing. Here's what they look like, and you'll see these again when I go live with the other collection. This is just using watercolors. And again, just embossing, just get the watercolor in there. Let the embossed line be the parameter, let it hold it, let it be that barrier to hold it all back, and just let it dry. Where it puddles, it's darker. Where it doesn't, it's lighter. And you get these beautiful effects, almost like stained glass. You can add anything on top of that if you want. And again, these are just 4x4 cards. Here, same thing. Watercolor on top. And then I'm just adding a chalk or a watercolor pencil in there to deepen in those areas. Only some of it, not all of it, because I like the way the watercolor just took off and came out of the wings. These are almost the same colors that I used here, but they're not. These are actually watercolors. These are the graphite tints. So here, just a different look. And again, this is a watercolor pencil that's blended out. Oh, have a good one, Heidi. Thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate it. Oh, I'm pixeling. I'm pixelating. Okay. Um, and you know, damn it, yes. You could absolutely do that. I could take another piece of cardstock and do that. I just it's just not something that I choose to do. You're absolutely correct. So if you wanted to cut out the center of that mirror cardstock and to save it, yeah, you could put another piece of cardstock in there. Absolutely. Absolutely. Great idea for everyone. But you can say I do rainbows. It's just, rare that I do it. This is an ink smushed one, and I was specific when I ink smushed it. I only ink smushed it on this side, and I kept this side lifted up. When I pushed the paper down, my hand was actually up in here, so that this area here would not, so it looks like it's exploding off the wings. And then I just added chalk into the center just to pull that out. And then the last one, you can cut these pieces. So I paper pieced it. So this one's propped up, this one's down, this one's propped up, this one's down, up, down, up. So the bases were done in watercolor, and then I went around the outside with ink to darken each of those layers. But you can see, you can cut it apart and paper piece those pieces. And again, you're just following the lines. You don't have to worry about this area over here. I kept that because I stamped this down first because you can see it. It's down under there. And then I just pieced these right on top. And see, I can do, see, there's another rainbow. So I do bright colored rainbows. It's just rare. I just gravitate to this when it comes to that. All right, so those are the samples. And again, you'll see these again. September 27th is when my other collection, the 4-stamp collection, is coming out. I need to put these up on the website too, so hopefully they'll let me take a picture of them. I just showed them on my channel, yeah, because I want to put them in the thing too. So again, and I'm just letting you know when that release is, one, so you know, and two, if you're interested, the butterfly is available. But to save on, shipping, to combine them when it comes to that. So we did that one. Let's look at our craft roulette card. And oh yeah, she's dry. Yeah, she ain't going anywhere. The glue just holds it. The center's not dry. It just holds. I mean, these are just solid in there. They're just not going anywhere. So that's the card that we'll put up for our craft roulette. There's always possibilities, Ave. And any stamp, you can make it your own color choices, because not everybody likes this color palette. It's vintage. So it looks old. Others, they like bright. They like that. But you can do that. Change your papers in the background. Use bright floral papers in the background. Don't use coffee dyed papers. Use white cardstock. You can still tear it. Don't ink around it. You can, and if you do ink around it, use a pink, use a blue, use an orange. You don't have to use the vintage photo. But again, just look at the technique and you can apply it to what your style is, because that's what we develop. as we're creating art, we are developing our style, and it takes time. Doesn't come in overnight. Try everything. Try it all. You may like it, and you may be like, nope, not for me. And that's fine, but you tried it. And every time I say that, I hear my grandmother, well, how do you know you don't like it if you don't try it? Yes, she was right. I used to roll my eyes all the time whenever she said that. Nope, not now. I get it. To like and maybe understand how something works, we've at least got to give it a try. Once, twice. Now, of course, there's some things, to give it a try, it's in about, if you want to try watercolors, the Crayola 8-color water set, perfect, $3. And if you find that you like watercolors and how they work, then you can go into, the Mission Gold tubes or a pan set or anything like that. We have the ability to try things prior to the massive investment. And that's what it is. Any craft has an investment. It all depends on what that craft is and how far we dive. Yeah, I dove. Absolutely. Absolutely. But always enjoy it. Always try it and enjoy it. And the toughest thing that you'll always do is not compare yourself. I still do that. But don't. Your art is your art. Your technique is your technique. It's yours. Nobody can take that away. So you can make it your own. But just know that you tried it, and if you like it, you'll keep going. Because we put those memories in our hands and how we do things. And we only grow and get better through it. It's a fun process. So never stress. Never get frustrated. If you find yourself getting frustrated, walk away. Walk away, turn me off. Do whatever it is you got to do. Just walk away and come back. And you'll finish it. I cringe every time I hear somebody say, oh, I threw it away, I had to start over. Oh, no. Continue. Continue through it and see what you get. See what comes up. Because you never know. That piece where you thought, okay, I've got to throw this away, is absolutely gorgeous in the end. And I can guarantee you that's going to happen. Always. Absolutely always. But just always enjoy the process. It's fun to learn new things. And that was one of the main things that I loved about Crafty Roulette. Being in that room and all these lessons and these techniques. That beaded card, but I love it. And I'm thinking about, okay, how can I put it into, something vintage? How can I put it into something floral? How can I put it into this? But absolutely. But I didn't give up, and I had people laughing, so that made it worth it. Because it was, But it was fun to learn that technique. All right? Well, hello, Amanda. How are you doing? So I said, well, yeah, lethal things, we don't want to go there. But yeah, so I did. This is going to be number 8. Woohoo! If nothing else, I'll give Mary a giggle. So number 8 is going up. And then we did this. So yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this. Next Sunday, I will be live. If Cordelia's there, she can't. I don't want her to be upset. I will be live because today is what? Today's 23rd, so it will be the 30th. So yes, I will be live, and I will be making a pop-up card, and I believe it's going to light up. Yes. I've got to figure that out, though. And no, I'm not just saying that because Amanda's here. That's what my plan is, because I'm die cutting it now. So, just got to figure out if it's going to work. And we'll see. We will find out together, because I never try anything first. I just jump right in and see if it works and see if it goes. All right? So, guys, have a great day. I missed you for 2 weeks, but just know after that Sunday on the 4th, I had a wonderful time being with people and seeing people and be able to put a face to a name, and people that I've talked to for years, I finally got to be able to say. So, absolutely, they'll keep doing this, I am sure. It's a wonderful community. Guys, take care of yourself. I'm truly grateful, appreciative. Thank you for your patience during this time of being away. I will see you next Sunday. Love to you all. And until then, continue to always be creative. Bye.